how are you competing in a space where people can generate a book using AI? And I'll tell you why. Because AI does not have your stories, your connections, your humanity, and your future insight, that future thought process that gets you to where you need to go. And we say in our business, you can't spell authority without the word author. And
It's
I
true.
believe, yeah, and I believe authorship takes many forms. I don't believe that you have to write a 70,000 word, 300-page book. I believe that you can share your area of genius in a variety of ways. And I'll say it out loud, including self-publishing. There's
Yeah.
no shame in self-publishing. One of our books here, Mark Schaefer self-published, the most amazing marketing book ever. You can absolutely do it. But imagine that you are meeting a future right fit client, and the first thing out of their mouth is, and they hold up your book. They go, "Oh my God, I get to actually talk to you." That's a relationship that you've made with them by having a physical form of your area of genius that you could hand to someone else.
Yes. And that already somebody's got that, whether you sent it to them, whether they found it and bought it and read it, whatever that looks like, however they got their hands on it, without you even saying boo. Already they're immersed in your world. They're trusting you, not just because your name's on a book, but also because now they feel like they've gotten to know you. That's huge.
Yes.
And I want to just disclaim that I think you said AI doesn't have your stories, we have a whole list. All of that AI doesn't have. But you know what AI does have? The ability to make sense of all the jumbo that's up in here. So now that person, probably you, have these brilliant ideas, so many sometimes that you don't really know where to start. Now, using AI, you can organize those ideas. You can categorize them. You can put them together, and you can actually write the book you were meant to write all along, but didn't have time, capacity, bandwidth, all that jazz. Now you can do that. So this is where I believe, Lisa, you were saying that you're not competing with AI. That's not the problem.
No.
In fact, personally, I leverage AI. I encourage my clients to leverage AI as a thinking partner, not as a replacement. AI is making us more human? What? Yeah, for real. I'm not even pulling your chain. We are actually creating this amazing shift from attention-seeking content to intimacy content. Don't believe me? Well, that's why we have Lisa here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it absolutely matters to you. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Shauna. I'm so excited to continue our conversation. We had such a good conversation a few weeks ago. This is going to be amazing. So, hello, everyone. I am Lisa Apolinski. I am the authority on authority power, and I work with authors, speakers, service-based professionals, and business leaders who want to become the clear go-to in their industry for the problem that they solve. I have found that the most important and powerful sentence in the English language is, "I know a guy." And my clients and authors become that guy.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. And I mean, I'll obviously substitute guy for gal, but that's all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I love it. And who doesn't want to be that person who's getting the referrals, who's getting those trusted connections that lead to real results? We don't want the spaghetti at the wall tactic. We want the tactic that's actually going to build a robust network that actually gets us to where we want to go. So that said, I'm curious about this whole idea of being an authority on authority power. It's such a fun concept to wrap your mind around. And I happen to know that there's a bit of wordplay in there as well. So please tell me a little bit more about your genius in that space and how you actually lead with that in all that you do.
Absolutely. So I didn't realize that I was in the authority power business 30 years ago. I started in Fortune 500 companies, and I knew what I was super good at. I knew the problem that I could solve, and I leaned into that. And I owned it. I owned that narrative, and I became that go-to resource. So much so that presidents of the company, CEOs, their secretaries would call me and say, this person would like to have a conversation with you. And I thought that was the norm. I thought, yeah, CEOs always call, marketing specialists way down at the totem pole to ask their opinion. I found out really fast that that was not the case because I got in trouble a lot for stepping outside of my lane, which I will always do. And I will not apologize for that. Yeah, exactly. I got written up twice for insubordination, so I'm good with it.
That's right.
Life
We
goes
can start a
on.
mutiny together. It's fine. Stick
That's
to the
right. I like making good trouble. So just being able to know that, I never put a term to it. Never put a term to it. And started my agency, my first agency, Three Dog Right, in 2012, and was going along full service agency, getting things done, again, service based. And it got to a point in 2023 where I was like, something's not hitting, something's not working for me. And this is becoming too difficult to get work in. And I know there's a better way. I know there's a way to make this work for me. And I decided to blow up my business, which is the scariest thing. Yeah, just blew it up. Yeah, just said, you know what? Basically starting over. I'm going back to basics. And and I always tell my clients this and my authors this. Go back to where you started. What was it about this path that made you take the first step? I love origin stories. Everyone loves an origin story. It's that human intimacy moment that we can share that tells them about our journey and what our purpose is. So I went back to that. And when I had started in 2012, and I don't know if you remember this, blogging was all the rage, right? Everyone had a blog, 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 blog. And I was actually paid to write my opinion for certain companies. So it wasn't that I was selling their product. I was giving a perspective actually from the customer side and talking about things that I knew to be happening with myself and other corporate marketers, how to best leverage a vendor like the one I was writing for.
Right.
Also being able to just vent, right? I used to just vent about everything. I've had those blogs, even today, still get picked up and still get traction because they saw my humanity, my personality within the content, right? It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't about getting eyeballs on it. It was about making that connection for someone to feel like, hey, I feel like I know you because you
Yeah.
share who you are within your content. You have a tone and a voice and a personality. And I love that. So I went back to that and I said, you know what? I want to focus just on content and that connection.
Right.
And I was like, well, crap, what do I call that? And I tried a few things that did not work, and that's okay. We can have
Yeah.
laugh trails, especially in the digital space. I tried talking about personal branding, and that was okay. It wasn't really unique, transformative, disruptive. It just was same old, same old. And then I'm like, well, maybe I have to talk about content as business development. Again, that was okay, but that's not what was keeping my clients up at 3 AM, and you talked about that. What's that problem that wakes you up and you're like, "Oh my god, if I don't solve this, bad things will happen." And then I went to actually asking clients that were hiring me, even though my message wasn't great, and having conversations. And again, I suggest this for anybody who's in the service-based industry. Listen to how they explain their problem to you.
Yes.
They'll use a lot of the same language, right? And my clients said one of two things. I'm spending all this money on marketing and I'm getting Zippo for it. What the beep? What the what? Or the new thing they started saying is, I don't get it. I have twice the amount of experience and knowledge as that ding dong over there, yet they got the business and I didn't. What? I don't understand. Why is my stuff not hitting?
Yeah.
And I happened to be in a card ride with my then publisher, now boss, Henry DeVries of Indie Books International. And I threw out the term authority power. It just came out of my mouth. Like I wasn't like looking for it. I just said, it feels like, like you need to be an authority and there should be authority power. And he was like, that's it.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. But I had to have someone else tell me that. Like I didn't even, you know what I mean? I didn't even recognize it.
You can't, half the time I've have a past client from many, 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 many years ago who got this image stuck in my head, is this image of you're stuck in a jar with all of your bits and bobs around you. You're in the jam. You don't know what your ingredients are. You need somebody from the outside to read the label to know that you're raspberry jam. Maybe with a little bit of rhubarb in there. Who knows, right? You don't know that because you're stuck in there. Having that external eye, that's chef kiss.
Yes, chef's kiss, absolutely. And once I positioned it that way, and I will say this, I say power, right? Authority, power. And I don't say build. I don't say generate. I don't say create. I say unleash. Because I believe for every service-based professional that's out there fighting the good fight, they have an area of genius within them that is just scratching at the surface to get out. Kind of like a superhero that doesn't know that they're a superhero and doesn't know their superpower. And then in the right moment, when everything seems like it's going to absolutely fail, it comes out. And it doesn't come out like a blossom, right? No. It comes out like a just explosion of power. And I believe that for every service-based person, because that knowledge and that experience is just bubbling, waiting to be unleashed. And I truly believe that. So,
and I love the analogy of a superhero. Like, let's be real. Marvel is my life. And of course Harry Potter and shit. But like,
of
truly,
course, Harry Potter. Yes.
Oh my gosh, just that idea of like, just let loose, let it go. Let your authenticity shine so that you can indeed really take hold and then unleash that authority power. Oh, I love that. Spicy.
Yeah. And I have to throw in a Harry Potter reference because you and I are Harry Potter crazed. It's a lot of service-based professionals will act like Harry Potter when he's speaking Parseltongue. So what? I'm sure loads of people here can speak it. No, it's rare. And he's like, what? Like, because it's so natural for you, you think everybody can do it. And that's not the case. That's your area of genius that you have to lean into.
100%. I like that. Oh, that's a good analogy for Potterheads. I mean, if you know, you know. Okay. Yeah. But no, that is brilliant. I love that so much. Now, that said, earlier I mentioned how AI is shifting us actually into a more human space. And you are now mentioning how this authority power and blog writing and truly just sharing your authentic genius was creating an impact in your space. So that, even as I say it, sounds backwards. It really sounds like we're going in two different directions and pretending it's the same space. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah. So first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is AI. A lot of service-based professionals feel like AI is something to combat against, to fight, to try to, pretend like it's not there. And even in the book publishing world, because I actually had a conversation with someone yesterday, and he was saying, well, how are you competing in a space where people can generate a book using AI? And I'll tell you why. Because AI does not have your stories, your connections, your humanity, and your future insight, right? That future thought process that gets you to where you need to go. And We say in our business, you can't spell authority without the word author. And
It's
I
true.
believe, and I believe authorship takes many forms.
Mm.
I don't believe that you have to write a 70,000 word, 300-page book. I believe that you can share your area of genius in a variety of ways. And I'll say it out loud, including self-publishing. There's no shame in self-publishing. One of our books here, Mark Schaefer self-published, the most amazing marketing book ever. You can absolutely do it. But knowing, and you and I were talking about this, imagine that you are meeting a future right fit client. And the first thing out of their mouth is, and they hold up your book. They go, "Oh my God, I get to actually talk to you." That's a relationship that you've made with them by having a physical form of your area of genius that you could hand to someone else.
Yes. And that already somebody's got that, whether you sent it to them, whether they found it and bought it and read it, whatever that looks like, however they got their hands on it, that without you even saying boo, already they're immersed in your world. They're trusting you, not just because your name's on a book, but also because now they feel like they've gotten to know you. That's huge.
Yes.
And I want to just disclaim that. I think you said, I really didn't want to interrupt you, and now I'm trying to remember exactly your words, but it was something about AI doesn't have, you said, AI doesn't have your stories, we have a whole list. If you want to remember what she said, go back and watch it, because I won't remember right now. All of that AI doesn't have. But you know what AI does have? The ability to make sense of all the jumbo that's up in here.
That's
right. So now that person, probably you, have these brilliant ideas, so many sometimes that you don't really know where to start. Now, using AI, you can organize those ideas. Right. You can categorize them. You can put them together, and you can actually write the book you were meant to write all along, but didn't have time, capacity, bandwidth, all that jazz. Now you can do that. So this is where I believe, Lisa, you were saying that you're not competing with AI. That's not the problem.
No.
In fact, personally, I leverage AI. I encourage my clients to leverage AI as a thinking partner, not as a replacement. And that can expedite your journey toward authority power, using books to establish those close relationships before you even say hello.
Yep.
That's magic.
And if you're hoping to get on a podcast, be live interviewed, get on a stage, do a workshop, do a webinar, having that book out there gives them a connection to you. And you've taken the first step to establish the relationship by putting your thoughts and that area of genius into that book. You've taken the first step for that relationship. And it has been mind-blowing. And I still get blown away when I'm speaking at a conference and someone comes up with my book and says, "Would you sign this?" They're not going to do that with an AI bot, right? They're not going to be like, "Oh my God, I got to," because that's never going to happen. An AI bot is just a generic thing. But the other thing that you have to recognize as a service-based professional, and this is scary, but at the same time, you can make it work for you. Before your right fit client has ever booked a meeting with you or even bought your book, they've gone on and done a search, and AI has interpreted your authority on your behalf. Think about it. Think about the last time you did a search on Google.
Yep.
You got the AI information. Did you click any further? Did you click on a website, or did you go, cool, and then you moved on with your day? Those are and those are no click results. They're frightening AF. Yeah. But that means you can help AI agents interpret your authority.
If you're strategic about it, if you think ahead to hunker down in that space and make sure that you're aware of the reality, not this idealized, AI, nothing like that. Sit in reality. That's leverage what you can that exists in the world that you can't change as one individual person. You're just not going to do that.
That's right.
And I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I live in reality. Leverage what's there, make the most of it, make your impact through that. Don't compete against it.
That's right.
That's going to change. And I
Absolutely.
loved what you said. That's going to change how you create. I have notes here shifting from attention content to intimacy content. That's going to change how people are relating to you, how people are diving into your world. And
That's right.
hopefully it'll shift the way you approach those clients who you meet on the first day, right? They have this trust form. It's going to shift you from being in the position where you feel like you need to sell the farm in order to get them to buy in. And instead, you're going to actually just be able to sell them what they need, expanding on your authority, making an impact in their lives, and building your business. Hello.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about building your business and getting clients in faster at a higher dollar value. And you're not having to justify your prices. You're not having to modify your features and benefits because their budget doesn't allow for whatever. And we've all been there, right? Where you've done a proposal 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 times trying to get someone across the finish line. With my shift of looking at my authority and the content that I create, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast interview, and this comes from the 6th book that I'm writing with my authors, Colt Briner and Henry DeVries, Reverse Engineering Revenue. I believe that's the working title. Please don't quote me. When you're writing your content, if you stopped writing it tomorrow, would your audience go, "Are you okay? What's going on? When are you posting something?" Or would they go, "Meh," and move on to something else? That's that intimacy where they want to hear from you. If they don't, they get worried.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a really great question and something that can really fuel what you create as well, what you consider to be content. I had a conversation with someone the other day about, well, if I write about this and this and this, it's going to seem repetitive and I don't know how to tie in my day to day with what I'm doing. And I explained to her, I said, look, I wrote a post a few years back, but I always think back to it because I found it was a pivotal turning point. I wrote a post about a dirty pool. I wrote a post about a dirty pool. It was one of those blow up pools in the middle of the summertime. I have 3
That's
children.
awesome.
And I said, I don't want to clean this pool. And now when I say dirty, I don't mean like it was like filthy, but I mean like it was left out in the rain for like maybe a week. So it was a little scummy. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So you know what I did? I filled the pool halfway with water, poured some Dawn soap in it because Dawn's good for things. Like it's not going to hurt things. And I said, kids, go clean your pool. And so they scrubbed the pool because it created bubbles, right? And now they're in this bubble bath. So my kids are clean. I don't need to give them a bath. The pool's clean, mostly. I had to, do a little bit of elbow grease here and there. And they had a great time. What does that have to do with branding and marketing? I don't remember. But I did make it have to do with branding and marketing at the time. I remember that I connected the dots and was like, this is what branding and marketing looks like. You can do that with anything.
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
you keep it open, you're able to connect those dots. And now something personal has allowed somebody to be like, oh, how are the kids? That's amazing. That's what we want.
That's
now,
right.
Before we continue, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the connection. And this is just briefly, because we've only got a little bit of time left, unfortunately, a little bit about your relationship with communication. And I know it's a broad word, communication in general, and how it fits in with the conversation around authority and selling. Because a lot of people like to detach those two things, like relationship building, communication, etc., from establishing authority, which people get mixed up with as well. And then, of course, creating sales that allow them to grow their business.
Yeah. And I believe all those can live in the same space. So I'm going to give you a real life example because I love storytelling. And that's a great way to make that connection because people are hardwired for stories. So I made sure I understood what I wanted to be known for and who I wanted to be known to. I think that's a huge piece that people miss. I'm not saying you can't be known for everything, but pick a mountain and climb it.
Yeah.
Right? And
Multitasking does not work. Single
no,
task. And then move on
single
to the
task.
next thing.
That's right. And it's okay if they feel like they can trust you on this. If it's lane adjacent, they naturally bring it in. You don't have to fight for that. They naturally bring it in. So I was having a conversation with a client I have now, and I thought, she doesn't need my help. She just seems super cool, and I'd love to connect with her. She's got tens of thousands of followers on LinkedIn. She's got an agency. She seems like she's killing it. I'm just going to have a conversation and just learn more about her. You and I talked about that, having that curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be ready to sell. What I am saying, lead with intention of connecting first, because that means you want to hear what they have to say and see how you can support them. If you come into a conversation with, let me tell you about my services, when you haven't even learned anything about them, why would they bother? Mark Schaefer during the pandemic said it, and we actually had a call on this, and he said, it's like passing out your business card at a funeral.
Ugh, yeah.
It just feels wrong. It just feels icky. No one likes it. So I had this call with her, and
sorry, I'm grumpy face. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that feels so bad.
We're asking for people's number for dating at a funeral. It's like ick.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry.
Wrong time.
That was a good example because I felt it viscerally.
Yeah. So I had this call with her, and when I have calls, I naturally go into my area of genius because I have books, I've done interviews, I have written content, I have that natural confidence now where I'm like, yeah, I'm not a, I'm actually a player. I actually know a couple things. Look at me. Wow. And as I was talking to her, I naturally went into, my consulting hat. I naturally put it on because I like to solve problems and I like to win. I don't know about anybody else, but I like to figure it out. Yeah. And get it done and win. So I'm having this conversation with her and I'm asking her questions as if she's already my client, having this conversation and just giving away information and knowledge. And about 20 minutes into the call, she goes, how do I work with you? I need to hire you. How do I work with you?
Yes.
And I had nothing prepared. So this was right after I became editor-in-chief at Indie Books International. I'd closed down Three Dog Right, all my programs. And again, I didn't go into this call to sell. I came in it to connect and to solve. And I had to make up stuff on the fly. I was like, oh, well, and I had to write it down because I'm like, what am I agreeing to? I had no website. I had no structure. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I made something up. And she asked me to invoice her that day, and she paid it that day. So that just goes to show you that if they feel like you can solve a problem, they will be desperate to throw money at you. And that is not the first time that has happened to me. So I know it's not a fluke. And every time I wasn't actually prepared, and I was like, oh crap. And then I had to kind of wing it, which is okay.
I love it.
Yeah. So I know it can be tough out there, especially with what's happening in the world today. But people still have a 3 a.m. problem. They still need to have that issue solved. And if they believe that they can trust you to do it, then they'll pay you. I've had authors who have pushed back on me where I'm like, you buy or you get my Persuade with a Digital Content Story book. I list everything that I use to build a persuasive story. I have the formula, I have examples, you can take it and you can absolutely, it's repeatable, it's everything you want. And people are like, "Oh my god, you gave away all your secrets." No, I didn't. I gave away a portion of what I know. It was funny because again, the call I had yesterday, I told this guy that it's kind of like if I read a book on how to scale Mount Everest and it gave me every single detail about how to do it. Would I go, "Awesome, let's go," or would I go, "Awesome, who wrote this? Hey, so can I just hire you to help me?"
Yeah, please
Because
take me
that's
there.
what yeah, because that's what happens. You're showing that you know how to do it and that you're so confident in what you do that you're willing to write it down and hand it to somebody else.
Oh, okay. So listen, you just inspired me big time, like big time. Okay. And I want you to not just inspire everyone else who's joined us for this conversation, because that's already happened, but I would really love you to take that knowledge that you have, that you've put into this book, into many other spaces, and I want you to distill it down to one thing. And I know that's a big ask. I know that's a big ask, but I would love you to see this one thing that we can share with the people who have joined us here for this conversation, that they can take and hold dear and use as they see fit, whether it's to climb Mount Everest or otherwise. And I would really like you to share that with them. However, I know that's a big, huge ask. So I'll let you think about it. I'll let you think about it, because in the meantime, I want to remind everybody who has indeed joined us for this conversation today that these conversations happen every week. And so we want you to join us for the conversations. Hit the bell, subscribe so you get a notification that says, "Hey, Shauna's going to talk at you for a little while." And then come, comment, share, and expand the conversation, because your voice matters. And we need everyone to talk about this ish now so that we can make an impact in the future. And the last thing, because you know what you also reminded me of, my friend Lisa, is that I don't talk about this nearly as much. It's backwards.
Yes.
My camera is mirrored, but this actually says Mastery Unleashed. And although this is not my entire book, I do have a chapter in this book, and it's pretty dang good. I'm just saying. And so if you want to read all of these amazing inspirational stories, then you're going to want to look on Amazon for Mastery Unleashed. You can also message me and I'll give you a deal, because that's what I do. Look, that's my face. Proof.
Yay.
So yeah, come on and take a look at Mastery Unleashed and figure out how you can show up in a way that really feels aligned and creates results. All right, I'll get off my soapbox, friends. I'm going to stick that back there and with caricature me. And and I'm going to let you tell the people what they need to hear, please, Lisa.
Yes. So if there is one thing I can leave you with, it's this. When you are ready to unleash your authority power and share your area of genius, you are giving the tiniest tip of this massive iceberg of what you have. So go ahead and give stuff away. Go ahead and help people. Go ahead and lead with service. And again, in my upcoming book, we call it thought followship instead of thought leadership. You are highlighting and helping someone else first, which shows that you actually want to have a relationship with them. It's that intimacy moment that makes people then want to connect with you. And I absolutely love doing this. And again, if I can tell just a really quick story, I have someone that I met through a group, Laura Patterson, and she's amazing. I absolutely am obsessed with her. And she was like, "I really should do a LinkedIn newsletter, but I'm not really sure." And I'm like, "Listen, let's set up a call, 20 minutes, and let's get it done. Like, if you need help getting this done, let's just get it done." And I did it with her. She got 5,000 subscribers on her newsletter in like 4 weeks. Like, it was insane.
Beauty.
Do you think she's going to remember every time she sets up a new newsletter who helped her? Yeah. And she tells everybody to hire me. Lisa will help you. Lisa will get you across the finish line. Lisa knows what she's doing. She helped me to set this up so that it highlighted my authority. Oh my God, she's the real deal. You have to work with her. She'll never hire me. She doesn't need me, but she is a champion for me because I showed up for her.
Beauty, beauty. And how can people work with you?
So we got a QR code here. If you would like to have, it says a no cost book chat. I will say it's a no cost chat. If you want to talk about a book you're thinking of writing, if you want to talk about, how hard is it to write a book and what the hell am I signing up for? If you want to talk about, I feel a little stuck with this and I'm just wondering, you know, why this message isn't resounding. If you want to talk about, I feel like I might have my defining statement, like who I serve and what I should be known for, but I feel like it needs a little tweaking. Please contact me. I love having these conversations. I want people to own their area of genius, to attract those right fit clients and to have more influence, more impact, and most importantly, more income. I want 2026 to be your year, and there's no reason why it can't be.
Mic drop. I am thrilled. And don't forget that if you scan the QR code and you're like, oh my goodness, where did this go? Because when we record this, sometimes the QR code changes. It won't change for a few months. So it's only if you're getting to this like next year. The link is always in the show notes, my friends. Always read the show notes. There's so much value down there as well that you want to take a look. With that, I want you guys to know that your opinion matters, that your insights matter, and that we want to hear from you. So please reach out, get involved, leave a testimonial, a review, and let us know what else we can share with you, because I think that we've got something good going on here. So we'll chat soon. Have a great rest of your day, and just keep being awesome, unleashing that authority power. Bye.